Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a Permaculture Youth, and today I'm going to be exploring the question of No Mow May, whether it's really worth it, the benefits, the pros, and the cons.
Brief note, this video was recorded in late April before we mowed our No Mow spring lawn. Mowing timing to come later in the video.
Землице, чиста водице.
So I live in the coastal Cascadia bioregion, zone USDA hardiness zone 8, last frost around April 10th. So in my region, it definitely doesn't make sense to do No Mow May exact, which originated in England and some of the colder parts of England, so a bit colder climate than this. I think that, like, if you go on maybe a couple weeks after the last frost, then it won't get too, there won't be too much bolting. So in my case, that's until late April, which is what it is now. As you can see already, a lot of the dandelions are going to seed. I think that they're pretty and they make medicine, but I'm sure a lot of my neighbors are thinking, oh, those are weeds, oh no. So let's look at the benefits and what's growing. I believe I identified 11 flowering plants in this lawn, a few of which we could have overseeded when we were adding a clover mix to this lawn, but most of which were already here. So, first of all, the dandelions. I love dandelions. One of our neighbors who's Chinese taught me a medicinal recipe with them, and every spring I make... there goes the crow. I make lots of dandelion salads, or spring mess is what they call it in the Northeast, in Appalachia, where I have family. These early, so not when it's bolted, but say this plant right here, nope, that's bolted. There's hardly any left at this point, maybe this one. When the leaves are still fresh and tender, those can be eaten, and they're less bitter. I still recommend lots of vinegar, and mix it with other greens like chickweed. But yeah, so dandelions, they are non-native, they're introduced, but a lot of generalist bee species have adapted to them. And of course, around here, we don't have that many native bee species, but we have a lot of honeybees who just love them because they're from Europe too. And dandelions are really, they're not an aggressive plant. They are here to stay, so one day we'll call them native, right? And yeah, they're great medicinal, they're great food, they're good for bees. I think they're all around great plant. And yeah, and they mix into a lawn, add some flowers. So yeah, it's great to, they are the biggest pollen food source for bees when we do No Mow spring, which is basically No Mow March and April for us. So now, coming over here, we have these lawn daisies. They're kind of white and purple. I've seen some lawns just covered in them. These, I don't think we planted them. They were here already in the lawn mix, but they really only flower if you mow less. So that is absolutely something that you can notice and enjoy if you have No Mow May. Definitely also a pollen source. You can see we also have these hyacinth growing. They are one of my favorites. This is kind of at the edge of the lawn, but over here they are growing out in what would otherwise be mowed and used to be mowed. So it's pretty cool to see that they're absolutely really desired plants that will pop up in your lawn. And then what else? Oh yeah, so there's violets, so number 4, that have finished blooming. But if you see right in there, they're the leaves. They've been very much overshaded by these daylilies, but they bloomed very early in the spring, in like March. So violets are fun, and definitely also a very important early pollen source for bees. Now looking around the lawn, Again, we overseeded ours with the clover mix. The clover does not bloom in early spring. In terms of insects and animal life, I've seen a number of bumblebees, including native yellow-faced bumblebee, which is great because mostly we see common easterns. Hoverflies such as the white-bowed smoothwing. In the ephemeral pond in my backyard, water striders have come to live, and just recently, actually after this video is made, a garter snake in the herb spiral that probably survives from eating bronze ground beetles, which interestingly are introduced, but since there aren't any of the native beetles left, I think it's fine to support them. I also have seen both seven spot and Asian lady beetles or ladybugs, which are also introduced from Asia or Europe. But since I have not seen a lot of natives in our area, for now, it's okay to support them. So here's my overall take on No Mow May. It's a great idea and way to get people who would otherwise not think about pollinators and just mow their lawn without thinking about it, interested in permaculture and pollinator gardening. And I think if you have, a somewhat diverse lawn already, then you might as well try it. You don't have to do all of May. If you're in a warmer region, it might be No Mow April or No Mow March. But just don't stop there. After that, you can mow a little bit less in the summer to let other plants grow, but the real difference will come with overseeding your lawn with species such as clover and daisies, and also, of course, planting native plants, which have those specialist species, and creating new garden areas. Here's some salal, which I planted. Here's Oregon grape, our Douglas fir guild. Future videos on these coming soon. And this all used to be lawn, and it could just be lawn that I know May, but the grass doesn't like it here, and so instead we planted all these native plants, which will have lots of wonderful butterflies and caterpillars living here that we need to support. So try No Mow May, but don't end there.
I hope you enjoyed this video and are inspired to change things up with your mowing practices and planting, such as native plants, in your garden and yard. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will be sharing more ideas for sustainable landscaping, permaculture gardening, and some travels to a famous permaculture farm in Europe. Thanks!